together and answer. So I wish us a very good time here. Thank you very much.
So you're all welcome. Unless we have just 1 hour to spend in the laboratory. Because if it is not properly dried and you store it, it gives room for activities of microorganisms. So the moisture content is very important, and that is why you to check your moisture content before you even harvest, except if you have dry facilities. But if you don't have dry facilities, then you have to allow those things to dry properly in the field. And that's why we always take this one to the field. Yes, we take it to the field. No, the people, they just go around, take sample from different portions of the field, and then if it is made, they shell it, and then we take the moisture content. That's number one. Then when your grains are coming in, we always advise that, like what we do here, because you don't know what could have happened between the field and your store. Anything could happen on the way. So when we want to take sample, as they are offloading, we take sample bag by bag. Okay. We don't follow that procedure. We do bag by bag because of experiences we've had. Okay. So we do, even if you are bringing in 5,000 bags, we sample every single one. And why do we do that? Because anything could happen between the field and here. Because they didn't want to go back to reports, and they didn't want to come here to report. They just entered the market and bought replacement. So that's why we decided we do bag by bag sampling. And as you are sampling bag by bag, as you are taking sample from each bag, you are probing. Please, can you get me a probe? Probing the bag, you will check before you put it as part of your primary sample. You will check with your eyes. You can see if it contains seeds that are highly molded. You set the bag aside. You reject it immediately. They don't even need to bring that one into your stock. Immediate on spot, you reject it. So it's only the one that visually you can see that, okay, this is okay, that you take it and you take those samples as primary samples and you bring into the lab. And when you bring them into the lab, you know, as you are putting a little, by the time you know what's happening, the ones on top, you are taking the samples down, and the ones down, the drop, the samples are up. So you just have primary samples all over the place. But the whole sample that you have taken is a composite sample, which contains little primary sample. And these things have to mix, because what you want to test must be a true representation of the lot. So you have to mix. That's why we have this seed mixer here. You have to mix your sample thoroughly. This mixes and it divides. It mixes and it divides. Maybe later you can take a look at what the inside looks like. If you look at the opening, it's for mixing and dividing. Now, by the time you mix your sample properly and you pass it through this divider several times, you see that it's properly mixed. And at the same time, this is what you use to reduce the sample, because you cannot work with the whole 1 kg or whatever quantity you brought in. You have to take part of it. This is what you still use to reduce your working sample. It's on that your working sample you'll be able to do whatever analysis you want to do. Now, we have done that for you because we know we might not have too much time. We have reduced some samples. Okay. In grain and seeds, when it comes to testing, there are a lot of similarities. It's just terms that differ. It's terms that we use that differ. Like in grains, we talk about extraneous matters. Those are the things that you don't need in the whole lot. When you clean it up, what comes out of it that is not needed? The whole thing is also as extraneous matter. Now, in this extraneous matter, you will have some organic matters, some inorganic matters. What are organic matters? They are things that come out from that extract that does not have anything to do with living organisms. something like stone, like broken bottles, like. But the organic matters are the ones that are product of living organisms. Maybe you have weevils in it. Maybe you have wings of insects. Maybe you have parts of the plants. After shelling you have some herbs, and those are organic matters. Okay. Now, that will determine the grade your grain will take. Maybe it's grade 1 or grade 5. They are the ones that will determine. Now, your consumer, they might tell you that. They will tell you these extraneous matters we are talking about, okay, like this inorganic matter, we don't want more than 0.1% of it in what you are bringing. Okay. They will give you specifications on what they want. So it is now left to you to meet up to that standard. You have to work to meeting up to that standard. So one of the ways for you to check yourself, even before anybody checks you, is what we want to do here now. We have our grains here. We have reduced them. Now you are going to check in these things what quantity, what percentage of what I have is the real seed or the real grain. What percentage is it that contains organic and inorganic matter? What percentage of it has broken seeds and insect damaged seeds? What percentage here in the lab is 0? So let's go to our groups. The first thing is, after mixing and reducing your sample, in some grain industries, they will tell you the standard. They will tell you the standard of your test sample, what it's supposed to be, what they want you to have as your test sample. They will indicate. I think the one way we used for this purpose is the East African community. They said from your sample you take 200 grams of maize, 200 grams of beans, 100 grams of rice. We work majorly on seed. We had to add some of these things. We had to introduce so that some of these experiments that we have to introduce.
It's actually a true representation of what's happening.
And it's actually, you can even get what's scenario when you get to the fruit. So, what we are going to work, I think we should start with maize first.
Okay, our groups now.
Group, we start, the first thing we have reduced.
This is 200. 32 grams.
The weight, and you work out the percentage later. Then the organic matter, organic foreign, inorganic matter. Then insect damage seed. And you have the broken seed. Okay.
132 grams.
They still win. Please, can we have the other? Okay, I think.
200.24. It's 24.
Please, who is close to the door? Help us to close the door.
Madam, are we going to start separating?
So like we are doing now, these are the organic matters. Like the ones, like this one is about this evil, this info. So we put it separate here. The broken one, let's say for instance, this one is a broken one, we put it separate. This one is included in the broken one. And then the last broken one. ka ga wannan da susa duk ka ga mai susa za ka ga alamun baki haka ko kuma wanda ya huje sai ka cire shi ka kawo shi
Don't allow anyone to go down because it's of his ways. Yeah, it's disadvantage to us. Yes.